guys were probably killed trying to get into the fort. And the Americans were firing the most. By the time the Brits get into the fort, it's over. Ledyard gives up his sword. The Brits were very upset that the Americans took their flag down. It was shot off, actually. So when you strike your flag, it's over. Some officers said surrender, some officers said keep fighting. So there was a lot of confusion. So when the Brits got into the fort, they were mad. And I'm not condoning killing surrendered troops by any stretch, but I could understand why that happened, considering the intense 40-minute firefight that was going on here.
Protocols are protocols.
Yeah, so if your flag is struck, and maybe it was accidental, which, okay, probably was, you know, there's shots being fired, flag gets hit, but they reposted the flag, and the Brits were like, what? So they were shocked when the Americans reposted the flag and were still firing. To the Brits, it's done. And the Brits said, listen, before you should surrender, you know, before things got crazy, the Brits sent emissaries and like, surrender your fort, you're surrounded. But Ledyard was like, well, let the chips fall where they may. That was his attitude, and I don't know if that was a good decision on Ledyard's part. I mean, on Monday morning quarterbacking, look at the result. He was killed. So, but it was nasty. Arnold's burning New London. Surprisingly, I'm surprised he did actually. They were told not to. And you know, you're burning and so it was pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. 40 minutes though. That's it.
Like 800, right?
800 against 166. Yep.
Came up here and spread out.
You actually had a detachment of Germans, about 40, up this way, that actually held off more militia from coming to the fort. If that militia made it here, that could have changed things. Maybe made the Brits more angry. I don't know. But yeah, 40 Germans kept Continental's militia at bay, which is interesting. And I found out that there are British soldiers interred right out here, and there's no marker, and that upsets me as a reenactor. It's in the V. It's in the artillery bastion. Yep. And they're buried right over there. And Montgomery, who was killed, I think he was a major, he's buried here, and there's no marker. And I'm not thrilled about that.
Huh. Yeah, Major Montgomery was killed right there.
Yep. So they mark where he was killed.
On the wall there.
Yeah.
He was a free slave, a free slave.
Yep.
Stuck up with a pike.
Yep. In front of everyone. But he's buried right there, but there's no mention where he's buried. So I got a problem with that. If I go to Man National Historic Park, I see markers where British soldiers are interred. And that's great. But here, so maybe they didn't want to mark where the British were because it was such a brutal battle and they were killing unarmed men. But nonetheless, they should mark where these British soldiers are buried. I don't think that's